Walls options bar. So we're still working towards drawing this sketch that you see on screen. We're going to draw our walls so they look the same as the client's sketch walls. Before we start drawing those walls in exactly where they need to be, we're examining a few different shapes and tools that are available in the walls command. And one of those things that we need to look at is the options bar. Let's go to the ribbon under the Home tab and let's click on Wall. Now what you're going to notice is you get your own special tab here that's green. This is the Modify Place Wall tab, and it has some specific draw tools and shapes for the wall command. You'll also notice that this bar right here, this is called the Options bar, has some very specific information about the wall that we're about to draw. And let's go through what some of these mean. Right here we can see that we start out with the height. The value for the height box is not completely filled out. You can't see all of the word. It says unconnected. If I drop that list down, you'll be able to see everything quite clearly there. Notice what happens though, as I've dropped this list down, the height list, you'll notice that it says top of floor 1, top of roof plate. What is that? What is it referencing there? Well, let's just go back to our project browser. Let's click on South under Elevations. And let's just remind ourselves that we have a top of roof plate and a top of floor 1 level made. Let's go back in the project browser to top of floor 1. Now let's click on the Wall tool again. Back in the options bar, notice under height, I can pick top of roof plate as its height. We are drawing from top of floor 1. So if I were to click that, it would give me an error saying, well, I'm sorry, but this is a wall of 0 height, so therefore I can't draw it. So I'll cancel that. So the correct thing here, as you're drawing the wall, would be to choose the next level up. And this is something that we'll discuss throughout the course, and that is in Revit, you always want to draw level to level, almost like you're making a layer cake of your building. So we've picked the height in the options bar. Notice though that we can pick unconnected, and that means it's not attached to any level whatsoever. It's just a height. So if I were to type in 8 feet, yes, it would be as high as our top of roof plate level, but it's not connected to it. So if that level moves up or down, this wall, which I'm drawing right now, will not move. It's unconnected. The next thing we have is the location line. You can see right now it says wall center line. If I were to just start drawing, it's just the center of the wall. Now, if I were to pick the next location line option, or center line, what that does is it picks the center of what Revit considers to be the core or the structural component of the wall. That one we're not going to delve too deeply into this course. We're not really going to need to in this particular one. So let's move on to the next setting, which would be finish faces. So finish face exterior and interior. These are very good. If I said finish face interior, let's click on that. And I'm going to start drawing. Notice what's happening. It's drawing it so the inside is lining up with those reference planes. Now, is that right? Well, let's take a look at our sketch. If you notice here, the dimensions are going to the inside of the walls. Now, this is just something that the client decided. They wanted this sort of minimum dimension or approximate dimension inside, and we're going to try our best to go with that. So in this case, yes, we're right. The other thing that we need to remember is we drew our reference planes based upon their sketch. So yes, finish face interior will be the right location line in this case, but it's not always that case. There may be times when you need to pick finish face exterior or other settings. Oftentimes you'll use wall center line for interior walls and a finish face or a core face for the exterior walls. In this case, we're going to continue with the finish face interior location line for our exterior walls. The next setting is a checkbox beside the word chain. And what that is telling us is that each endpoint will be connected to the previous one. So as I start drawing, notice what's happening? It just keeps connecting. Whereas if that is turned off, the endpoints are not connecting up. It's not connecting the dots. That's on by default, and we find that it's good that that chain option is checked by default. The next option is a very useful one. If you use CAD, this might be a little bit different from what you're used to, but this is a core concept in Revit, the offset. I can specify an offset distance in this field, and as I draw, it will offset whatever it is that I'm drawing that distance. For instance, if I were to type in 5 feet, as I draw along this reference plane, notice how it's drawing exactly 5 feet away from that reference plane. Let me hit escape once. Escape once will take me back to my draw crosshairs. So if I draw from this reference plane, notice how it's drawing that 5 feet away. So the offset tool can be very powerful when doing wall layouts. So those are the main tools in the options bar as you're drawing the wall.